Now in this video clip I am going to teach you the function of capacitors and condensers. Now basic function of a capacitor is store charge. Now charge is measured by Coulomb. Now when we store charge in a device, we call that device as a capacitor or condenser. Capacitance is measured by farads. Capacitance is given by C. C is measured by farads. In the small electric circuits, we use microfarad capacitors. So, everyone knows 1 microfarad equals 10 to the power minus 6 farads. Now, here, capacitance is measured by farads. Now, second one is charge. Now, this is charge. Charge is measured by Coulomb. Charge is measured by Coulomb. Now, this is Coulomb. Now, this is farads. Now, when we bring a capacitor in the market, that the capacitor has no any charge, we have to charge it by using the battery or any plus or minus device. At that time, it takes plus charge and minus charge. Always that plus increases the voltage and minus decreases the voltage. Due to this phenomenon, it makes voltage difference. In the capacitance, in the condensers, the voltage difference is called V. Now normally we write V for the voltage difference, but actually it represents voltage difference. Now again, now these are the basic physical quantities in capacitor. Capacitance, capacity, charge, voltage difference. Capacity, charge, voltage difference. Now next one. Now I would like to teach you the symbols of capacitance. Now this is the basic symbol of a capacitor, or otherwise you can draw like this. Now these are the circuit symbols for the capacitors. Both are condensers or capacitors, but one of them takes plus, other part takes minus. In the annual exam, you have like this symbol, because they don't mention the plus and minus. We have to identify that plus and minus in the annual exam. Now, these capacitors have three quantities: C, V means voltage difference. Now it has plus and minus. Due to this plus, it increases voltage. Due to the minus, decreases the voltage. At that time, it makes voltage difference between that plus and minus. And next one, I told you, when we take the capacitor in the market, that the capacitor has no charge. They have to charge it by using the battery. So after charge this capacitor, it stores charge. Plus plate takes plus Q, minus take minus Q. That implies charge of the capacitor is Q. But you can't take the algebraical summation of the capacitors. At that time you have 0. So generally we say the charge of the capacitor Q means positive plate has plus Q, negative plate has negative Q. But charge of the capacitor is Q, not 0. I told you can't take the algebraical summation of charges to take the total charge of the capacitor. Right. Next one is capacitance, C. Now these are the basic circuit symbols of the capacitors or condensers. Capacitor has plus and minus. When you form the capacitor, you have to make plus and minus. C means capacity, V voltage difference between plus and minus plates, and Q means charge. When the capacitor has Q charge, that implies positive plate has plus Q and negative plate has negative Q. That means when you connect these two plates by using the wire, otherwise you can use connected switch. Now this is the open switch and this is the connected switch, on switch. Always on switch acts as a wire. So I mean, when you connect these two plates, that the capacitor charge becomes 0. Break down. I mean, when you have a conducting wire or closed switch parallel to the capacitor, you better remove the capacitor from the circuit because it has no charge. Now everyone knows when you connect these two plates, algebraical summation of charge will be 0. But if you don't connect these two plates, in the middle of them it consists of dielectric media, so they can't connect with each other. At that time it has voltage difference and it remains plus Q and minus Q. But when you connect these two plates by using the conducting wire, that the total charge becomes 0. At that time our capacitor break, otherwise burn. So when you have the closed switch or conducting wire parallel to the capacitor, you better remove that capacitor from the circuit. Remove it, erase it. When you do the calculations, erase it. Right. Now actually that is the short circuit. We call this is the short circuit. Because if you label this point as A, this also A, this also A. Because the charge now that the point, now I label that A voltage wise, that the voltage changes with the electronic devices only. Now when we draw like this, these are the conducting wire, along the wire that the point does not change. So every time when you do the calculations in capacitors, electronics, diodes or otherwise any electronic devices, when you go along the wire, you better label A. Along the wire, voltage does not change. So that's why I label A. Now you can see there is no voltage difference across the capacitor. A. Now it can't store charge. So that's why I told you to remove that capacitor when you have the conducting wire or closed switch parallel to the capacitor. Right. Now I am going to demonstrate you. Now this is the capacitor. Now here I used that the 3300 microfarad capacitor. Now and 35 watts. Now this is the capacitor. Now you can see this is the capacitor. Now they have mentioned 3300 microfarads and 35 watts. That the 35 volt is the maximum voltage of a capacitor. When we give more than 35 voltage for this capacitor, definitely it will burn. And after that, there is no capacitor. Now, this 3300 microfarads, that is the capacitance. This is the capacity of this charge, maximum capacity. Now, when you buy this in the market, it has no charge. At that time, it has no charge. Now, if you want to charge this one, you have to connect this plus. Now, again, another very much more important thing is, now, if I demonstrate to you that the capacitor again, you can see this is the minus. This is the minus. Always this shorter part is this shorter part. Now it has two plates. Now these are the two plates and conducting wires. And long wire is a plus. Smaller part is a minus. Now you can see it. Smaller part is a wire. Shorter part is a minus. Other part is a plus. Now I told you that the capacitor has plus and minus. But when you buy this at the market, it has no charge. If you want to charge this one, you have to connect this plus to plus and minus to minus by using battery. Always battery generates DC current. DC current means direct current. The variation of voltage of DC current. DC current is generated by the battery. Now in the power stations, they make the AC current, alternative current. Now DC means direct current. Now this is the variation of voltage of DC current. Now this is the voltage of a battery, variation of a battery voltage. It keeps constant voltage within the time. Right. Now I am going to charge this one. Now you can see, now this is a 9-volt battery. In the 9-volt battery, now this cylindrical shape is a plus. You can see it. This is a plus. Cylindrical shape is a plus. Now this hexagon type is a minus. That is minus, you can see it now. That is the minus. Now this is minus. Right. Right. Now here. Now everyone knows. Now when I take these 2 points, now longer part is a plus, short part is the minus. Now this is plus, now cylindrical shape is a plus and hexagon part is a minus. Now this is why 9-volt battery. I am going to charge this capacitor by using 9-volt battery. I give 9 volt. Right. Now I connect this plus to plus, longer part with the plus, shorter part with the minus. Now it undergoes the charging. Now normally when you charge your phone, likewise. Now this is plus to, I have connected that plus to plus and minus to minus. It undergoes the charging. Now it has charged. Now this is the charging method of battery. Now if I draw the relevant circuit for the charging method of the capacitor. Now this is the charging method of a capacitor. Now this is the capacitor and this is the battery. Now when we draw the symbol for the battery, this represents plus, this one minus. Now everyone knows this one. Actually you have done all these things in the O level also. Now this is, we have connected that plus to plus, minus to minus. Now it undergoes the charge. Now I told you when you buy this capacitor from the market, it has no charge. But by using the battery plus to plus and minus to minus, we charge the capacitor. At the very beginning, that charge travels from plus to minus. Current goes from plus to minus at the very beginning. Now, if I draw the variation of charge, how does that the charge store in the capacitor? At the very beginning, it has no charge. So you have to start from 0. Now here I start from 0. But when we charge that one, relative to the time, it generates heat and resistance, so that's why gradient gradually decreasing. Finally, it takes constant gradient. I mean that the gradient becomes 0. I mean that the line parallel to the x-axis, that means gradient becomes 0. That means that Q is a constant. After this function, that the direct current does not go through the capacitor. That is the basic function of a capacitor. Now, at the very beginning, when the capacitor has no charge, we can charge it by using battery or DC current. Undergoes the charging, current goes from plus to minus. Finally, charge becomes constant. After this moment, that the current never goes to from plus to minus. I mean, direct current does not go to the direct current. Never ever go through the capacitor. Never goes through the capacitor. Never ever. But after this point, at the very beginning, current travels from plus to minus. Just after this moment, just after this point, that the current never goes through the capacitor. So that's why now when we do the calculations by using the capacitors, you have to consider that the charge is constant. Actually, we do all the calculations after this point. So you have to consider, you have to assume that current never goes to the capacitor. Normally, direct current does not go to the capacitor. Direct current, DC current. Direct current does not go to the capacitor. Alternative current, AC current. Domestic current, AC current goes to the capacitor. I'll explain you why in Indian class. Right. Now, always Q directly proportional to the V. V means voltage difference, because when it goes from plus to minus, it's stored here. Plus increases the voltage, minus decreases the voltage. Due to this function, it makes the voltage difference. That voltage difference is represented by V. So, variation of voltage also like this. Now, this is the variation of voltage. Now, this is the charging method, and these are the variations of charge and voltage relative to the time when I charge the capacitor by using direct current like this, plus to plus, minus to minus, plus to plus, minus to minus, like this. Now, this is the charging method, and these are the variations. Now, these are very important in the A-level exam. How does that the current varies? How does that the charge varies? How does that the voltage varies relative to time when we charge the capacitor? Right. Next part. How does that the capacitor discharge? Now, normally say, now when we use the phone, gradually that charge comes down when you use the phone. Likewise, that is the discharge. Likewise, we can discharge the capacitor. But if you connect this conducting wire, now this is the charged capacitor. If you connect conducting wire, plus and minus, what's happening here? Like this. What's happening here? What's happening here? That is the discharge phenomenon or short circuit. I told you, when the capacitor is connected by using wire or closed switch, that charge becomes zero. That is a short circuit. But I am going to explain about the discharge. This is the short circuit. At that time, charge becomes zero. So there is no capacitance. When you use the conducting wire or closed switch parallel to the capacitor, at that time there is no charge. But here I am going to explain you how does that the discharge, how do we do that the discharge for the capacitor. Now, discharge method is this one. Now I am going to use the resistor. Now, this is the charging method of a capacitor, and these are the two variations. Now everyone jot down this one. Now here I am going to do the discharge of a capacitor. Now here I am going to use the resistor. Everyone knows this is the circuit symbol of a resistor. Now again I am going to draw the variation of charge and voltage related to the time. Now this is plus, you can see this is plus part is the larger one and smaller part is the minus one. This is the capacitor, you can see it, longer part is the larger one plus, other part is the minus, you can see it. And this is the resistor. In the resistor, by the color code, the magnitude of resistor depends on the color code. Now this is the resistor. Now you can see it has color, but that the color code, you have now this one in the A-level syllabus, so I am not going to explain this one. But this is the capacitor, this is the resistor, this is the resistor. Resistor symbol is this one. This is the resistor. This is the resistor. Now resistor has no plus and minus. Now these resistors have now plus or minus. Always it has no plus or minus. You can connect for the circuit as you wish, for this side or otherwise you can change this one, these two parts, because it has no plus or minus. Now this resistor has no plus or minus, like this. Otherwise you can use by changing like this. Right, now I am going to connect this resistor with the capacitor. Now these are the basic function, these are the basic fundamental method. Now these are the methods. Now when you take this capacitor from the market, it has no charge. After that you can charge it by using battery, plus to plus, minus to minus. Now it has charge. Keep that 2 points longer time here. Now it has charge. Actually you can light up the LED also by using these 2 points. Now take the resistor. Resistor has no plus and minus. You can connect this resistor as you wish. You can take any part. Now this is the relevant diagram. This is the plus and this is the capacitor. Connect these two by using wire. I connect these two devices, plus here, but capacitor has no plus or minus. You can use any part. Now again I use this one. Now what's happening here? Now when I connect these two devices like this, now at the very beginning capacitor has charge because we charged it by using the battery. Now it has charge. When we use that the resistor like this, current or charge travels from minus to plus to minus. Electron travels minus to plus. Current goes plus to minus. When it goes to the capacitor, resistor, that the resistance comes up. The value goes up because it undergoes the heating. That's why when the charge, now this is the charged capacitor and we use resistor with that one. This is the relevant diagram. When the charge comes from plus to minus, it undergoes the heating. That means energy waste. Gradually this ability, now it has ability at the very beginning, it has ability to do any work, but gradually that ability gradually decreasing. Finally that charge becomes zero. That is the discharging of a capacitor. But if you connect these 2 points by using conducting wire, that is not discharging method of a capacitor, that is a short circuit. At that time total charge becomes zero at once. That is not discharging. Now this is the variation of discharge. Finally charge becomes 0. But if you short circuit, at once it comes 0 or otherwise it burns. Now this is the variation of charge and voltage when we discharge the capacitor. This is the behavior of discharging of a capacitor or condenser. Now these 4 diagrams are very important. What are those? How does that the charge vary relative to the time when we charge the capacitor as well as the voltage? How does that the charge discharging with respect to the time when we discharge the capacitor? And how do we charge the capacitor? By using DC device or battery. How do you do the discharge the capacitor? By using resistor. Now these are the methods of charge and discharge of a capacitor, and these are the variations. Now I told you there are 3 physical quantities in a capacitor. First one charge, second one capacity, third one voltage difference. Plus plate has plus Q, minus plate has minus Q, but we generally say total charge of a capacitor as Q, and it makes voltage difference and it has the capacity. Now you can see the variation of charge and variation of voltage, these are the same variations. So Q directly proportional to V. Now everyone knows this is the proportionate sign. Proportionate sign is given by equal sign and constant. Now this is Q equals kV. Normally we write that C. C means capacity. Now this is the basic function. Now this is the general expression for the capacitance. Any capacitance. Now, but if you want to define this capacity, you better write C equals Q divided by V. Now here I am going to define the capacitance. Now this is the definition of capacity. When we use one voltage across the plus and minus plate of a capacitor, the charge at that time, the charge is called capacity. But anyway, I'll give the definition again. Charge per unit voltage or 1 voltage. Charge per unit voltage is defined capacity. Charge per unit voltage is defined capacity. Capacity is measured by farads. V voltage difference is measured by watt, and charge is measured by coulomb. Right. Now this is the general expression for the capacitance. Now we are moving to the general expression of a condenser or capacitor, parallel plate capacitor. Now these are the 2 parallel plates. I charge these 2 plates as plus and minus. After charge this plate, this charge comes here, this charge comes here. I do not mean it come onto the air, I mean that the charge comes into the inner side of a plate. This plus charge comes into the inner side of a plus plate. Now this is plus Q and this is minus Q. It makes voltage difference. I take voltage difference as V. Normally we write that the charge is Q, so that's why I write the charge as Q. That implies positive plate has plus Q, negative plate has minus Q. And I take the distance between these 2 parallel plates as D, and I take areas of a plate is A. I can charge these 2 plates by using 3 methods. What are those? Induction, contact or friction. Now we assume we charge these 2 plates by using any method, at that time voltage difference across the plates V and charge of a plate is Q. Also the charge of a capacitor also Q and capacity is C. This is the capacity C. And difference between distance between these two parallel plates is D. Now we are going to form a general expression for the condenser or parallel plate capacitor by using the Gauss theorem. Now, first of all, we have to draw. Now, we can mention the direction of electric field intensity. It acts plus to minus like this, E. Because always electric lines travel from plus to minus. Now, this is the direction of electric field. Now, here I am going to take the behavior of the Gauss theorem. Now this is the plus plate. You can take plus plate from them. Now these are the electric lines. I told you to draw the spheres or cylindrical shape for a Gauss surface. Now everyone knows Gauss surface should perpendicular to the electric lines. So you have to draw the cylindrical shape. Now I am going to form that general expression by using theorem. Now everyone knows when you use the Gauss theorem in the calculations, we have tried that phi equals phi. Left hand side it is given by the definition, it is given by EA. Just no sin theta or cos theta because that is perpendicular to the lines. And other part is given by Gauss theorem, Q divided by epsilon naught. Now another very important thing in electric fields, previous I told you, E is given by gradient of voltage, negative value of gradient of voltage. But we don't use this minus sign in the calculations, we use this minus sign in the graph. So we are using the calculation. So I can write E equals V divided by D. Because in the capacitors, we just write P due to the voltage difference. Right, now I can write that E as V divided by D, E as V divided by D, A remains here and Q divided by epsilon naught D. Now I can write, I am going to take the subject as Q divided by V here, it gives epsilon naught A divided by D. Now, that's okay, that's all. Because that QV equals CV. Q equals CV. So C is given by Q divided by V. Now this is the general expression for the capacitance. So Q divided by V means C. Now this is the general expression for the capacitor. So finally we write the parallel plate capacitance as C equals epsilon naught A divided by D. Now this is the general expression for the condenser or capacitor, parallel plate capacitor. Epsilon naught everyone knows, that is the permittivity of air or free space or vacuum. A is the cross section area of the parallel plate and B is the distance between two plates. Now we can write this one when this gap, when this space is filled by the air. But when we fill that by using paper or regiform, you have to write another epsilon. So you have to write the permittivity of the given medium. Now we will see it by the next video clip. Now these are the basic functions, charging method of a capacitor and discharge method of the capacitor and the variation of charge of a capacitor related to time when we do the charge and variation of the Q and V when we do the discharge of capacitor. And another thing, when there is a conducting wire or closed switch parallel to the capacitor, you better remove that capacitor from the circuit. But discharging method is one when you connect the wire parallel to the capacitor, that is a different method, but that is not discharging. If you want to discharge it, you better use the resistor. Now these are the basic functions of capacitor. Now I'll do the different functions and how do we do the simplifications of parallel combinations and series combinations and Gauss law and Winston bridge in the capacitors and the voltage divider. We will see in the next clip.